for the players to veto, etc. is what I was really trying to say. And so, if the players aren't ready to go, then obviously it makes sense to sneak a couple lads in, support the tournament, help keep these happening. Top left-hand side, our green Terran is InZaNe, taking on the blue Zerg player Denver. And like I said, it's been an interesting couple days with these guys. Denver looked kind of shaky yesterday, didn't look great at times. Looked very weak early game against a lot of pressure that came in and got a lot done. So yeah, Denver didn't look great at all, while InZaNe looked pretty good again, sort of, honestly. In the game that he played with BCs, he did very well, and intrigued to see what his style is going to be now, going into this game number 1. Because I do feel as though there's a lot of holes in Denver's early game defense, and at the same time, I feel like Denver's really got a good answer to battlecruiser play, which is something that InZaNe was using prior to this playoff. So we'll see what that's going to be. Obviously, the battlecruiser's got pretty much an overall nerf. Tactical jump, cooldown increased, the vulnerability before teleporting, all sorts of stuff that just kind of makes them a bit worse. But actually, the infestors spawning with neuroparasite already means you can basically, trade out 3 infestors can kill 3 battlecruisers almost. So it's actually really just, there's such efficient ways to deal with those battlecruisers now. As long as you don't take like the super early kind of lots of damage from it, it's going to be pretty okay as the Zerg player. And you don't have to go into the Spire, which means you don't have to go Corruptors. The Infestors are better overall because they're a better choice against, they're a better choice against pretty much everything. When it comes to the rest of the army. The Corruptors are, kill the DCs and then they're kind of dead weight in the skies, so. Is this balance mod official? It's official. This is the official balance test mod. As you do see, early lings from Denver. He did go pool first, so arriving to be aggressive here now. InZaNe went Reaper, which is across the map, into a Marine. Lifts up the depot here, protects his Marine for the moment. Reaper across the map is go pinging that hatchery already. PSCV is pulled in to help out with that, and actually this Marine going right to the back is going to get one of those lings. A second ling not quite going to go down. That's problematic. This is why the Reaper generally just comes home even if you have a Marine. PSCV is pulling back up as we will see the CC denied. 71 over 71. Obviously, at some stage this should be cleaned out as the Reaper heading back home. There should not have to be a cancel on the CC. That would be terrible. When do we get to see the new maps? I imagine new maps will come up in after BlizzCon, obviously, right? So, like, they'll probably be announced pretty soon after BlizzCon, and they'll probably go live. I don't know when this season actually officially ends, but it feels like, we're not super far from having new maps, right? Probably like a month or 2. Next map pool should be pretty interesting because we had a lot of good maps in the last TLMC. I really liked that one, so should be pretty intriguing as well. Reaper deals some damage. Overlord flies into the main and just going to see the Reaper is going to be being picked away a bit. I've heard these maps are going to stick around for a bit. It depends. Usually they do like a post-BlizzCon season, right? Usually we have like after BlizzCon, there's usually like another ladder season. Compared to, they don't just let it run until next year because that would be like a really long season. I'd be very surprised if they change that up for whatever reason, because it's not like rolling out a new season is difficult. You just kind of set a date and you pick some new maps. The maps are already there. The maps are already kind of there to be kind of set up because they were all submitted from the, they have them from the TLMC, so it's not like they're like, oh my god, make the maps and stuff like that. So, yeah. This is interesting, as we do see Hellions and Reaper able to pick off some Zerglings there initially, and going into the mineral line, drones are going to be the target, and this is exactly what Denver had difficulty with the other day as well in his group against Euthermal. Those drones go back, and they might, oh my god, how did InZaNe not target fire that? He went back down the ramp because he saw the drones, I'm almost sure of it, and then he didn't target fire them all clumping up. Oh my god, that is a real loss for InZaNe. Maybe he was like right-click move command, And because he moved command, it finished, and the drones were there. He wasn't attack commanding yet, and so they auto-attacked the queens. Now that's a real missed little opportunity there. There could have been a lot of dead drones. Obviously, Denver did have a good slowdown on InZane's initial economy with those early lings, but I mean, it's obviously not a bad start from InZaNe, who goes into a fusion core now off of the 30cc. So it's this greedy battlecruiser style that we've seen from Youth Thermal in this tournament as well, and which we've just seen being popular throughout Terran players as of late in general. Italians back up to the top side. Infestation pit's going to be dropping down as well, so build an infestation pit up, 4 drones, 2 queens on the way in. The armory is coming along quite nicely. Viking is able to shut down and overseer. This Overlord now is taking some damage as well. So Overlord is taking quite a lot of hits as Hellions head down to the lower right-hand corner. Infestation pit setting up on the natural, going to be done shortly. The Hellions here are going to be able to pick off Cryptumor number 1, 2, 3 in a second. More Zerglings up to that top left-hand side. More Hellions here able to come in quickly, and those Lings taking a lot of damage as they get pushed away. Hellions on the right will finish those off, and that's going to be that for the moment, as roach speed about halfway done. Hellions continuing to the lower right side then, and 2 more factories starting from InZaNe in that main base. I mean, just continuing into the mech style we'd expect. This is the change. So Infestors on the way out. This is the change that's because of the patch. He's building Infestors and sort of did the same, because you'd much rather have Infestors that can instantly shut down these BCs than having to invest into mutas. And actually, with the speed of the BCs, which isn't that quick really, first one only just now out in 7 minutes, he's going to have Infestors before the first battlecruiser is even harassing. So actually, it's going to put Denver into a really good spot to defend against this here, as we do have the Viking pulling back to the top side with the rest of the Hellions already. 2 more factories. Mech play continues, and the Hive already starting up from Denver, 7.5 minutes in. So starting the Hive, his own Evo Chamber's just now coming down to think about upgrades. So yeah, he's really not afraid at all of going into Hive quickly at all here, is he? So yeah, going straight into that. The rest of these Hellions hanging out on the top, and as those Hellions hang out, we're going to see extra Spore Crawlers dropping down. The Overseer of Denver is going to take a couple volleys of attacks from that Viking. So the Overseer dropping pretty low, the BC going back to the top side, and the Hellions are coming into the middle now. Overseer should drop in just a moment or two. There it is, it goes down. Hive is starting on the main base, so getting that up and running. Hellions pick off a Creep Tumor, and as the Hive finishes, we've really seen a very passive game with these BCs. So just building these but not getting aggressive with them. So what is the long-term plan here? What is the goal from InZaNe? I mean, maybe just have these BCs as part of that army composition without the harassment. They're still not, not a bad unit to have. They don't have Yamato though, so they can't just come in and like Yamato down a queen here right away, and that is going to be dead battlecruiser. Gets teleported, no way out, and doesn't even have to use infested Terrans on this. The queen should be able to attack it. So yeah, that's a good shutdown. I mean, this is just the power of the Infestors, right? That's one BC. It did nothing, and it just got caught in 1 Neural Parasite, and it gets shut down completely. And that's why this BC play is really, for me, doubtful to still be good. I mean, maybe you can have BCs as part of the army, but you can't have BCs out on the map like that when there's potentially Infestors around. There goes BC number 2. Neural Parasite just like this. He will run in with this one. He's going to go after the Infestors. This one used its teleport, but it did survive, and there's 1 Infestor left with energy, so a couple went down. InZaNe able to hold that position. His tank's obviously helping out. So still has 2 BCs to push across the map. See, I don't mind the BCs supporting the army, because supporting the army should be able to deal with any Infestors that commit themselves to a Neural Parasite stationary very easily targeted. So you'll see a couple of tanks going to drop down, and going to fire to kill off this hatchery, so hatchery will go down in a moment or two. Just going to see tanks on siege and pushing up to the top side. Ravagers and Roaches put themselves in the middle of these bases, so actually InZaNe has to come back and fight against this. He'll teleport his BC on top of those Ravagers. The other BC doesn't have teleport available. Queen's coming up to this top side of the map as well. This BC has to pull away before it gets neuraled here. Somehow gets neuraled. What? That neural was not within 8 range. I refuse to believe it. Will talk down the infestor, so is able to counteract that somewhat. Man, that neural must have cast as the BC was like running away, and there was no way that was in 8 range when it connected, though. That was actually crazy. Alright, well, we're just going to be seeing the few Ravagers over to the left, and as you see, Hellions morphing back in from Hellbats. They're going to take an active role out on the map, looking to ping around and trying to dart into bases and mineral lines. These few Ravagers back into the center. Queen drops a transfusion on one of the infestors, bringing it back up to health. The scan will get rid of some of the crypt tumors as well. Hydra's Den is just over halfway done. So, here's where we're at, right? I mean, Denver's just continuing to progress his army forwards. There's nothing too crazy about it. The BCs looping around the side. I mean, InZaNe's army is pretty typical mech, just tanks, a couple of Thors mixed in there. Remember that Thors have been changed in terms of their anti-air. And also, if Broodlords come out here, their range has been reduced as well. So, those are things to potentially watch out for. That was a nice siege tank steal with the parasite, with the renewal parasites. We're now going to see these professors are seen by the BCs. He is just going to teleport those BCs away. I feel like those infestors could have had a neural if they were paying attention, but they just weren't. They were just very... Obviously, Denver was looking elsewhere rather than making the most of the opportunity he had there, unfortunately. It's just going to be seen. The Aliens pressing forwards and group tumors going down. Excuse me, guys, sorry. So creep tumor is going down. And the problem is the creep is so far forward, so Denver has a pretty good control of the map, and when you have control of the map like this, you're never really scared of a push. He's going to go double Lurker Den, so you can get Seismic Spines and Adaptive Talons at the same time. Seismic Spines is the upgrade, by the way, that is going to increase the Lurker range from the currently nerfed 8 down from 9. It's going to increase it up to 10. And that's only available on Hive Tech, as is the Adaptive Talent. So it kind of weakens Lurkers mid-game while giving them a bit earlier because the Lurker Dens build faster now. But obviously strengthens them a little bit in the later game as well. So it just gives the Lurker a little bit more kind of longevity in the games, which makes sense. The Lurker really was kind of a mid-game, only mid-game unit. You know, you make it mid-game and it just gets to a stage in the late game where it just wasn't really useful at all, and there was no real reason to ever build one. ZvT is playing a very slow game here. As we're going to see fungal growth being dodged, BCs pulled back away before it struck, and there's the 7 Lurkers on the way. We'll see how they do against siege tanks. Obviously, that was the issue always with Lurkers. Just what if you build siege tanks against them and just kill them from a distance? What are they ever going to do? Yeah, there's that Seismic Spine, so that's one of the upgrades on the Lurkers. The Adaptive Talons is the one we already know and love. Prayer Spire is up, but we've yet to see really anything from that. I'll tell you what, considering Denver's got all of the map and a lot of bases, he's got a surprising lack of economy. You know, I really feel as though Denver would have maxed out and a bank at the moment, but in fact he's actually not quite maxed out, and the bank he has remaining is pretty pitiful. So in that regard, I don't really like where Denver is at. I like the scans for the BCs. They're scanning ahead, they're checking, okay, are there infestors coming in, are infestors burrowed anywhere? No point giving up these BCs for free, and a couple of scans can obviously just give you the kind of look ahead that you need to make sure they're safe to fly in. And this harassment continues. Denver's losing a lot of drones. They have to pull away from this space, but BCs find themselves a Spore Crawler as well. Now into the natural, couple Hydras showing up. Where are the infestors? Found them on the map, a few burrowing all over the place, really. And there's that, at some point these BCs just say, yeah, we've been around a long time, so they're just going to teleport out of there. This is nice from the battlecruisers, though. They got a lot done just for flying down the right side of the map, essentially. Don't think you could really complain about that, as 5 more Liberators coming into production. Advanced Ballistics about to complete. Remember, that comes up on the Fusion Core now. So you actually don't need a Tech Lab starport, which he does have here. He does have 2 reacted starports elsewhere. I wonder if that's truly a mistake, whether, they just forgot about it, or if he actually wants the Tech Lab because maybe he wants to start building Ravens at some point. Army continues along the left as on the top, the Hydras and Ravagers will come in for a couple of siege tank kills. Liberators sieging, and the Hydra Ravager force is pushed away, zoned out. An attempt to take the bottom left base out of Denver. Now InZaNe, he's just about to take his own left-hand 9 o'clock base. He needs that. It's been a long time since he expanded, so a fresh base will do him some good. He really needs to just keep that going, so it's absolutely the time to expand. If you haven't done so already, as this BC gets new-rolled. BC number 2 gets new-rolled, and the Corrosive Bowels will take it down most of the way. The couple Hydras that are here will then target the rest of the way as well. So 2 BCs picked off. Finally, the Neurals finding their targets. Those BCs couldn't dodge around and jump over the map all forever. Finally getting found, shut down. And well, here we go again. There's more Liberators now on the way up, some extra Hellions on the way out. Group team is going to be finishing up on the top as our lurkers continue up as well. 17 minutes into this TVZ, and it feels like we're going to have a real go at each other very soon. Like, it feels like we're going to have a fight break out, because Denver's kind of set up for what he wants to do until he needs to trade out to replace with even better units again. And InZaNe, well, he's at the point where he's going to, yes, have a 5th base, but now he needs to start thinking already about a 6th base, which obviously would be kind of interesting. What's up, Fartbag XP, one of the most beautiful names in Twitch chat. 2-month resub says he would win between Skylurkers and Battlecruisers. Well, Skylurkers would be pretty good against VCs because VCs are slow, so you couldn't dodge them. Maybe Skylurkers. I don't know though, because VCs have a lot of health, right? Skylurkers might need like a bit of a health boost to help them out there. Thank you so much for the 2-month resub, I appreciate it. And I do have the BC from InZaNe heading down the right-hand side and over the base here, picking up a couple of drones. Finally, the BC gets caught by a neural and will be taken down. Smart servos being upgraded. BC teleport is just the Zerg, making sure it can't teleport away once it comes out. And the infested Terrans will shoot that down. This is the issue. Denver's now starting to take both corners of the map. There's InZaNe taking this base here with the command center. No planetary on that just yet, though. I mean, you just can't let Denver have both corners of the map. You're going to have to trade so ridiculously well to not just be outmined by one base, by not mining this base yourself, but then for them to actually mine that base that should have been yours as well. That's really crazy, as we do see the command center here is taking a few more shots from those Hydralisks. A lot of libs sieging up, but well, 2 of them get shot down pretty much immediately, and yeah, this obviously didn't really actually go that well. It's a scan to set up a kill on a lurker. Perhaps 2. 2 lurkers down. Ravagers will come back in. The Thors trying to split away, which they will do. The space will get back down. Infest is just looking for the opportunity to strike in somewhere. Thank you so much, Zion SC2, for the Twitch Prime sub for 2 months. Thank you so much for supporting the stream again. Appreciate it. First, the Terrans in the front get taken down. Aliens fighting against it. A little bit of an army splitting away here. So, I mean, my issue is InZaNe's got a big bank, but I just feel like all game long, he's never really had any initiative in this game. He's just been sort of sitting back and defending and defending and defending. At what point do you get yourself into a position that's good enough to say, okay, now we move across the map? These Hydras are committing in towards this base at the moment, and that's interesting because they could have backed away already. Now we see more Liberators setting up here, and actually the Hydras that do come forwards are being picked away. 2 Liberators get shot down by Corrosive Bars. That's a nice save. Because those libs are really starting to get something done. Infested Terrans are going to go down before they reach the Liberators, which is good as well, because you can't allow any more Liberators to go down than you have to. If you want to win this is insane. You have to keep trading well, remember, based on the bases that are being taken on the map from each side. It's going to force those lurkers up and to relocate themselves. InZaNe, fine. I mean, where do you even push though? Where do you begin? I mean, you can push any direction. The problem is Denver's just going to relocate drones to the other direction. It's a really tough call. It's a really tough call. Push forward from InZaNe. So here you go, tanks, Thors, Liberators. We do see Lurkers and Hydras going to make a dive on this planted fortress on the left, so InZaNe's not desperate for money. He has a lot of money in the bank, so rebuilding for him is not an issue. He has to take some kind of a fight though, like he has to force something. And this is nice because by taking the initiative here, he's the one that's going to kind of be able to kind of fight those Lurkers as they get burrowed, etc., right? So this is kind of the scenario you'd expect this to kind of go well in. A couple of Infestors over here. Doing okay, actually. Finally those tanks get out of there. The Infestors weren't killed. They stay alive. Tanks moving down the bottom left will siege to get rid of that bottom left-hand side base as well. The Lurkers are just surrounded on a couple different angles and making life difficult too, though. It just feels like this attack of InZaNe didn't really achieve much of anything, apart from, well, now he's in trouble with those Lurkers. The extra range on the Lurkers actually goes a long way. I feel like it's very noticeable kind of how much you can get done. And how much kind of better it goes for you compared to usual, as those Hydras are going to knock down those Liberators. This tank will go down. On this right-hand side here, we do have siege tanks set up. I mean, this was just InZaNe not really having enough to take down the Lurkers that got themselves positioned, right? That was one of the bigger issues. This Lurker killed as well. Hydras across the map, but tanks and Liberators sieging. There's no way you continue fighting. Denver pulls back. 23 minutes in this game 1. 4 more Thors on the way out as well, so InZaNe's still investing into a good amount of those. You gotta have a few up, because if Broodlords come out, they're gonna be one of your main features to be able to defend, keep you alive going into the next little stage of the game or so. We'll just get this refinery here, and the Infestors back down the bottom. The tanks are still taking a lot of damage, actually. The Queens are... well, the Queens very narrowly get that siege tank kill. They will just about get it in the end. And now Denver's been losing a few units and is trying to think about what he wants to remax on. It's a decent question. These units just keep on fighting on each side of the map. I mean, we have action down the bottom, then action up the top. What's this being caught? The siege tanks are on that bottom left side, surrounded by infested Terrans. He's going to try and keep running, but only one of them gets away. At least now he knows where the Infestors are, right? I mean, that's good information to have. 2 more infested Terrans dropping out to fight here. And I feel like these Infestors are very far forwards. I guess when you can use the infested Terrans to kind of block your way, block the exit for your opponent, block the chase, it's kind of not so bad. The Infestors are going to get away. They're all out of energy. If there was a time for InZaNe to make something happen, it would kind of be now. Right when these Infestors are out of energy. I mean, it's the dream moment, but he's actually way down on supply. He's not been keeping up with his reproduction, so as this Liberator sieges, it will try to unsiege and relocate, but it's already dead. Unfortunately, it will not do very much. Tanks killing off another couple Hydras, and those Liberators and stuff come back up the top. We see 6 more siege tanks on the way out. Punching forward as nearly falls there as the Liberators set up to push those Lurkers away, and we're just really in again this bit of a stalemate where InZaNe will continue mining off that left and off that top side. Denver's going to try and reattempt to take this bottom left base. Remember, we talked about the difficulties of letting the Zerg not just mine from one base up on you, but then mine your own version of that base as well. They're essentially 2 bases ahead. It takes a lot of efficient trades to make that work to trade from 2 bases behind and stay in it if you end up mining out. So you either need to, I mean, especially deny that base, but obviously try and keep it for yourself as well would be really important in the bottom left. Or top right, but the top right, the map seems untouchable. There's so much creep out here. Denver really has control of the upper right-hand side as the Terrans drop down. That'll be a dead siege tank and a dead liberator. Just a couple of volleys. Siege tank got blown up by the siege tank of its own siege tank buddy, actually, so that hurts. Hydras, Vipers, coming up to the top. The Thor about to, well, it's about halfway done, so going to be finishing shortly, as we will see. Hellbats just starting to pick their way through this hatchery. So hatchery taking quite a lot of damage, and again, some extra siege tank, cyclones, etc. still coming out. Siege tank in the top left-hand side as this hatchery will fall. Hydralisks are pushing in as well. Reactor goes down. Planetary Fort was getting a few shots off to push this away, and 13 more Hydras currently on the way out. Liberate vanishing a couple of seconds from infested damage. Yeah, the infested Terran damage is actually pretty good now, but obviously the infested Terran, that's the whole point. The infested Terrans, you know, each infested Terran was designed to be a stronger unit, especially considering they have +3 missiles. They benefit from that massively. But each of them is designed to be a stronger unit, and to be less of them spammed out at once, basically. So, you know, you kind of made them each a little stronger, but you made it more difficult to get as many. Really nice denial of workers up here, actually. That's a lot of drones that go down. Denver's actually on 41 drones. It's not a lot. As InZaNe is looking to take the bottom left-hand corner. And you're watching the round of 6 of our WardiTV Invitational on the balanced test mod. Vipers coming in with a Yoinker 2. Nice planning clouds, although one Viper did go down to a missile turret. Is going to keep on yoinking whatever he can with that abduct. And at the same time, it seems like it's a go time for InZaNe. Going to push up the right, and he's going to deny, well, if he denies this bottom right base, he's going to deny the next base as well, although walking into lurkers isn't pretty. He lost a lot of Thors there from walking into those lurkers, so that's a mistake made. Denying this base is a good start, and the drones are ending up running through to the top right-hand side. So a lot of the income of Denver being denied here. He's down at just 26 drones to mine from, and his gas bank isn't exactly huge either. The infested Terran, so the investors show up to save the day. The infested Terrans start cleaning out. This army of, well, InZaNe has already kind of somewhat smartly backed away. Denver's army supplied 138. Some money in the bank still, but he's realizing he's going to need drones, otherwise he just doesn't continue to stay in this game for much longer at all. We see still a few more SCVs down the bottom left, and Howlings looking to wrap around. Planetary will cancel and lift off. So InZaNe having trouble establishing that bottom left-hand base. What's that resource loss like now? It's still just very slightly favored to InZaNe, which is kind of where it's been at for a while. And it's going to be so nice if he hadn't lost the Thors up here to those lurkers. He would have been able to really turn this into a much stronger continued push in that top right side, and it might have actually cleaned out that base. Well, instead now InZaNe seems to be gathering in the bottom left. Denver is down 163 to 200 supplies, so InZaNe maxed out 6 Thors in the production, by the way. That's 30 supply for Thors just being added on like that. Did you see top base here from InZaNe gets denied? So that's not so important because this, you know, these gases, these minerals are mined out. This is this base here. This base will not be far behind. Yeah, about 250 gas left on the combination of the extractors. So we're really about to be mined out in this game. Denver does have obviously top right and bottom left are much fresher, and InZaNe especially. Yeah, Denver's mined out of his own bases already too, though. Just about to finish this one off in the last 350 minutes. A couple of lurkers getting picked off. Denver, why does he only have 32 drones? Well, because he doesn't really... Problem is, yes, he could probably make a few more drones to mine these bases a bit faster, but does he need to? No. He's already got the bank, and if he already has the bank, where else is he going to send the drones, right? Like, there's only so many bases left. He's on the way to mine now. At this point, rebuilding drones might even just be a waste of money more than anything else. These are really nice abducts, though, and the efficiency has absolutely been on Denver's side the last few moments. Suddenly, it's such a 3k swing in favor of Denver, so here we go now. Ooh, Lib sieging up in parasitic bombs is going to hurt, although as they do start to get damage done, Lurkers and Hydras cannot get away fast enough. Queen turns, picks off a Hellion. Still some other units up in the skies, and InZaNe with money in the bank. He still has gas to spend, InZaNe, whereas Denver does not really. And obviously InZaNe, this bottom left base, so much fresher than the top right of Denver. It's probably one of the big differences here overall. Resources lost, 55.5 to 54.3k. It's the second day in a row we've had a 30-minute plus game, which is not super normal. Things looking to run by. Depots are quick to raise, but let's have to respond to those at some point. This is the issue. These just a couple of units that have wandered into kind of lurker range at points. It's happened a few different times. It is very painful. The spores come in. I mean, these Vipers can absolutely abduct down these Liberators. The Liberators are going to get picked away so easily. I mean, this is the problem. Denver's finding so much efficiency fight after fight. And what is InZaNe finding? Well, not much in that regard. These Vikings here finally maybe actually in position to zone those Vipers from just abducting freely. We've seen them kind of controlling the game. Here we go. Vikings will make a play. Fungal Growth will land on the Vikings, so the Infestors make themselves known, and changing that Fungal Growth, they're looking to get the Viking kills. Now he's fungling all of those Hellions, so it's not really a pretty trade from InZaNe, but his army supply is still leading over what Denver has. Denver has pretty much drawn the bank of InZaNe down to less than 1,000 gas. He has some money of his own, as he still hasn't quite decided what he's going to spend that on. Just feels like Denver's taking better fight after better fight, but actually he's losing just as much as InZaNe is in these. Liberator up on the top side. The creep spines lurkers still kind of pressing around the bottom. I mean, this entire game, Denver has just had full control of the map. The fact that InZaNe has stayed competitive throughout by playing so passively has been honestly impressive, I feel. InZaNe just needs a good fight right now. I mean, either of them just need a good fight. One fight can end this game. How little the other has to build. I mean, each of them have to build up here. Is that a dead Viper? It is a dead Viper. That's really important. Vipers are the kind of thing you can't really afford to rebuild easily at this stage. Mineral and gas investment. And obviously, the less Vipers you have, the less value you're going to find with spells such as, you know, Abducts, Blind Clouds, etc. Oh, that's coming over. Creep Tumors starting to clean out as these Hydras come forwards. All of those Hellbats picked off there. Libs in production, still seeing this army just pressing forwards here from InZaNe. Liberator shot kills another Hydralisk, and really in this standoff, Denver's supply is hurting. Where are we at for resources loss? 61.6 to 59.5. This base here only has 1,200 gas left versus InZaNe has about 3,000. It's actually a huge difference. That's about 1,000 here against 150. InZaNe is... okay, Denver's going to run out of gas. Denver basically has 3,000 gas left in the game in total. You can see the Abduct on Thor. Yeah, so what you're going to do when you have a mineral excess as Denver, that's going to be the issue. He's played a very gas-heavy set of units. Obviously, Denver can build something, but a lot of this might be down to what can he kill, and then decide what to build. Because the problem is, when Denver builds his last, whatever he builds now, it's pretty much some of the last units he's going to build. So he wants to really make sure that he's building what he needs. And he doesn't necessarily benefit from having a larger army right away. Because if he has a larger army right now, he's not really taking a straight up fight. He's just picking and poking and, you know, chipping away at the Terran army little by little. So he's probably just kind of waiting a little bit. Okay, he's going to go into a few more Hydralisks here. These guys have a little exchange in the chat. A disagreement on what is being done in this game. I mean, InZaNe's not wrong. If you don't like it, you should attack him. Another Liberator going down. The Thors, remember, they fire faster now, but not with as much damage. Tank and the Thor again dragged in again. Double the ducts. And this is the thing, InZaNe is not really protecting from those Vipers. Those Vipers are getting probably the most value out of anything in this game. They've created so many opportunities. I just consumed down this extractor here, and well, there's another fall that's just out on its own. Oh, these guys just continue the discussion. I mean, I don't think, I mean, it's obviously not really the army you can just attack into. On either side, that's the issue. They both have armies you can't really attack into. So InZaNe is just playing it slow and covering ground. Denver has 8k minerals, 2.5k gas, but remember, he's mined out gas top right. He has, so yeah, this is his gas bank for the rest of the game. Denver will not get any more gas unless he's able to take down this base and take the gases from it. So Denver is pretty much on this gas, and at this point from now on, anything that InZaNe kills is going to be replaceable, but only to an extent. As you can see, the Hellions looking to try and get some shots off on the Hydras. Denver's army supply is struggling at 88 already. That gap has been widening over the last few moments. Just going to see a siege tank gets picked up here, and here we go. InZaNe actually going to push forwards a bit more aggressively. Takes down those couple of lurkers. That's a nice fungal growth onto the Vikings. Supplies dropping on both sides. Remember, InZaNe doesn't have a bank to rebuild with right away, but he is the player who has the ability to, you know, he's still mining gas, so InZaNe's bank will increase over time. Whereas Denver's really is done. Again, the gas mining is about to be done. There we go. 0 on extractor on the right, 0 on the left. That's it. There's now 0 gas income for Denver. Unless somewhere he's got a Vespene Geyser that he's forgotten about, but I don't think that's the case because InZaNe was so passive. It's not like he's been killing off gases throughout the game. Their extractors are only dead because, well, actually, yeah, literally, the reason they're dead is because of the Vipers consuming them so much. 104 to 94 armies though. It's the closest it's been for a while, and Denver still has money to spare. Can build queens, remember, with those minerals, so it's obviously an option for him as well. How many Hellions have we got? Not really any, which are kind of the big way to probably shut down these Hydralisks. I just find a couple of libs up here. Resources lost is definitely favoring Denver by about 6k. Does it cost gas to repair? Yes, if it's a gas-based unit, it costs gas to repair. SCVs, I mean, they have nowhere to go. There's nothing for them to do. He's saturated over here. The bases are mined out. Denver now spent the rest of his money on Hydra Vipers, so does he get some queens up as well? It kind of feels like Denver's making the play to maybe end this now. And InZaNe, remember, how much gas has he got left now? 1,200. But again, still has to mine it before he can build it. And that's kind of the current issue. The previous fight was not good for him. Why doesn't Zerg send some Zerglings? They definitely could. It's absolutely one of the options you could go for here. Send some Zerglings around to the main base, etc. Let's see if he's trying to repair units, trying to find efficiency wherever possible. 80 army supply to 118. Remember, again, Denver's army is only going to go up in the form of queens here, so That's pretty much it as we see the Infestors coming around the top side. Looks like they're going to infest the Terran down some in production. And that's pretty much all of the Infestor energy though. So now the Infestors are a little bit out of energy. I'm sure they're going to kill quite a bit over here. These Infested Terrans do pretty serious damage. Plus 3 missile upgrade on them. With that, they do 15 damage per shot and 30 against air units. It's actually crazy. So Infested DPS is, so Infested Terran DPS is real high right now. So what have we got on the map? 8 Infestors, 4 Vipers, 35 Hydras, 9 tanks, 11 libs, 4 Vikings, and 8 Hellions. The Hellions especially though, like I said before, they really go a long way in terms of shutting down these Hydras. Is there any production elsewhere? There's a couple store posts here. Just wondering if you lose this production. Obviously you don't really want to spend money rebuilding the production at this stage of the game, right? It's just going to be, you know, you're going to rebuild 2 factories to then what? Spend 600 gas? Like, it just is so costly. You can see the Infestors on the low ground positions. A few Hydras snuck into the main here. It's a pretty cool play by Denver, but InZane's army supply is catching up. It's now 92 against 110. There's the Infested Terrans hitting a couple of the Vikings. Don't want to let that happen if you can avoid it. Liberator, well, that's going to be a dead Liberator again. These Infested Terrans deal damage real quick. There's 2 Liberators he loses to these Infested Terrans. And that is absolutely one of the strengths of the army that Denver has, right? The Infestors will find so much efficiency here as a Thor pops out, takes about half damage before it goes down 83 to 102 supply in terms of armies. 2 more creepy right tumors spreading out. 43 minutes in this game right now. It's been a long one already. A lot of Hydras pulling back over the right, SCVs going left. Vikings, Liberators in the center. The SCVs will repair up a little bit. I mean, how much is in gas has InZaNe got left? Now he's got like 400 and something, so he's got 1,000 gas left in the entire game. It's not a lot. Denver's gonna ask InZaNe his bank. 500 says InZaNe. 7k 30. As they trade information. Across the board. We continue onward. 43-minute marker reached. At 43 minutes, the in-game clock adds the hour timer, and that's because we used to use Blizzard seconds, and in Blizzard seconds, 43 minutes, proper minutes would be 1 hour of in-game time. So, yeah, time used to pass faster, and that's because the seconds basically, you know, obviously the game was designed on normal speed, but then it got played on faster. And so faster, the game clock was just sped up. And because of that, until Legacy of the Void, I believe, we played with Blizzard seconds. So yeah, 43 minutes is where the extra, kind of the hour marker comes in on the game clock. And suddenly you can have that extension, even though we're actually not an hour in the game just yet. Some StarCraft history for you is 78 to 100 army supply lines up against each other. InZaNe is not building anything with his gas, actually. Hey, InZane's actually out of minerals. Hey, InZaNe actually has gas and not minerals. That's a very weird issue to have. Here's what I think is going to happen. No matter what happens in the fight, Denver's just going to be able to remake Lings, and the Lings are going to win the game, because I just don't think there's a way to actually fight like hundreds of Lings. Like, there's a few Hellbats right now, so Lings aren't great just yet. But considering you can make, what, 6,000 minerals? You divide that by 50. So it's what, like 600 divided by 5, so it's 120. Zerglings come out in pairs, so it's 240. If you have a conga line of overlords. So you got like, you can have like 240 Lings made at this point. And, you know, and a couple more. And hey, the fight's actually gonna happen. SCVs are being brought into tank. Infested Terrans drop down, the Liberators are sieged. The tanks will fire. There's an Infestor there that'll get shot down along with this, and, well, army supplies get closer, which is going to favor InZaNe. He was further apart than this. Look at the unit count now because nothing else is really important in the production tab. As we're going to be seeing the Overlord conquer line continues. It's just like the Overlord train making its way around the map. Yeah, not a lot of love actually from Denver. I mean, inject is the sort of thing which he's been lacking for a while, and yeah, has obviously not been kind of paying attention there during the rest of this crazier late game. The thing is, I don't feel like those Zerglings necessarily need to come out now. He's going to make a few now. I wonder if, in a way, he kind of wants to if he wants to build more queens over a longer period, or what his overall plan is. Obviously, InZaNe is kind of having to press forwards now. Goes off the Hydra Den. InZaNe has 0 minerals, so he has nothing left after this army goes down, and that's a siege tank that doesn't really do much in exchange. Problem is, the Liberators are afraid to siege up because of the Spore Crawlers. The Overlords. Oh, it's some good fun. I like it. Yeah, I mean... I mean, it's okay. I'm having fun. You guys having fun in the chat? Maybe not fun, but it's been interesting. If you guys are enjoying, it's the perfect time to use that subscription, liven up the stream a bit. Subtrain. You know what, guys? I want to see a subtrain that's more impressive than this Overlord train. Whoop, it's leaving the station. Off they go. Sorry, I know there's Zerglings on the map, but the Overlord's just stopping and going. Yeah, obviously those Zerglings go down. They don't kill a lot of units, which is kind of the expectation, right? They're not expected to do too much. Some injects have gone off, and now 36 lava available to Denver. 22 Hydras and 5 Infestors left. Only 1 Viper remains, by the way. Not a lot left over anymore. 48 minutes. Is there 0 gas on the map? Yeah, there's no minerals and no gas left on... Sorry, there are some minerals over here for... Whoa, Denver has like 1.5k minerals over there. That's a nice find, but that's the only income, that's the only resources available on this map at the moment. That's all there is. Yeah, I kind of feel like Mass Ling is the answer as well, because I feel like Lings really are in this game. I really feel like in this game, like, there's no Hellions in this army, right? And that's kind of the issue is, if Viper takes a shot or two, Hydra's taking some damage. Overlord gets shot down, this Liberator gets abducted in. There's a couple of tanks will continue to siege up. Liberators continue to set up as well. Vikings out in the center. The Overlords continue to move around and... Well. InZaNe still trying to find a way to push forwards into this right now. Denver still yet to use the lava. Using Overlords as InZaNe makes his way into the center. Honestly, I feel like the Lings would kind of win the game. There goes the last Viper. The last Viper for Thor. Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't build Lings either, guys. I completely agree. I feel like in this scenario, Lings just don't lose. Like, they've got melee upgrades as well. I mean, how many Hellbats have you got? 4 Hellbats? They just don't do anything. Are these guys gonna go for a draw? I don't know, says InZaNe. Denver says ... Do you agree to draw? I mean, if they agree to draw, we draw. I don't want to torture other players, says InZaNe. I feel like InZaNe has more to win from drawing than Denver, because I feel like InZaNe's army dies eventually. Draw? Game number 1 goes to... Get this going. In the top left-hand side, our green Terran player is InZaNe, as we have the same starting locations. And he is going to be going up against the blue Zerg bottom right Denver from Infinity Gaming. After a 50-minute game number 1, they agreed to draw, and we go into game number 2. I agree. I feel like Denver should have made Lings, and while I don't disagree that Lings are usually the kind of thing you look at and like, well, they do nothing here. I feel like they do enough because you can make literally, we did the math, it was like 200 plus Lings. I don't believe 200 plus Zerglings don't kill that army when there's like 4 Hellbats involved, you know? But here's the issue, guys. You guys want to know why it didn't matter? Because he could have floated. There was no corruptors in place. So it doesn't even matter if Denver wins the fight. He can't kill the floating buildings, so it's a draw anyways. So, yes. While it looks like it's Denver's game to win, he can't kill floating buildings, and hence, he can't win the game. So in a way, for Denver, it's actually better to ask for the draw before the fight, just in case the fight somehow does go the way of InZaNe, and then InZaNe could win the game. Same map, yes, because it was a draw. So yeah, it was a draw no matter what. I mean, can you even float on this map? Hey, maybe you can't actually float on this map, though. Maybe, like, here? Like, this location here, probably. Right? I reckon this is, like, the only place you could float. So that has not a lot of dead airspace around the top side. Interesting. Factory drops down from InZaNe. Once we get this started in a couple of moments. Let me just quickly message going through as well. We're probably going to do both of the semi-finals at the same time, guys. Because the second round 6 is taking a while. It's a draw, so viewers can have one more game. How nice them. Oh, yeah. Marine gonna fight this overlord as Pneumatize Carapace will kick in. Pneumatize Carapace before Ling Speed. When you at work on the weekend and Wardy makes content on both days. Which is okay, I'll also be making content all this week up until global finals starting, then I'm gonna be taking my 2-week vacation. Well, I go away to BlizzCon in California for 10 days. I'll probably be off stream a couple days before then just because there's not really much to do or stream or anything, so I'll take some time out and recharge, ready for what is likely and pretty much always a marathon of StarCraft content in November and December. If we keep drawing games until the series is like 5 hours long, during that time a ton of people will donate, subscribe, use Matcherino, so it's more dollars for the prize pool. Well, I mean, that works if people start donating and subscribing, etc. So, when that starts happening, I get behind this idea as the lair comes in from Denver on the low ground. Gets that set up. And the Queen's going after some rocks. Hellions pushed out the left-hand side. Forgive me if I sound unenthusiastic after the last game, guys. It's interesting though, because we see Stim coming in, so we're going to see a bio opener from InZaNe. He's moved away. I mean, remember, he started that last game with battlecruisers that really didn't do anything, I would say, for the most part. There was one attack where the BCs did good, but mostly they got kind of shut down. How did he make the Congo line of overlords? He just set one overlord to move command onto the other overlord, and then that one gets moved commanded onto, and then the next one gets moved commanded onto, and then you just run around with the front overlord. And then the other overlords will all follow one at a time. Alliance pick off a creep tumor. So yeah, we're going to have a very different game here. Obviously, bio instead of mech. InZaNe changing it up a little bit. It's always a classic when 1 hour 40 minutes into the tournament you start game 1 of your second series. Yeah. Well, the last game be on YouTube, I only saw the last of it. Probably not. Maybe though, actually. Maybe I could make some real good clickbait title. Of like, new patch ends in draw, question mark? Unwinnable game? If you don't want to wait for it to go on YouTube, if it does go on YouTube, you can also check it out on the Twitch VODs. They are free and available right from the get-go. They'll be available already, so you can always watch that on Twitch as InZaNe lifts and gets out of there with his bio, as he is going to be heading in towards the main. He's going to have the Baneling target fired down. That's nice, but these medevacs are in trouble, and he kind of knows that he's in the slow zone, which stops those medevacs going as quickly as they'd like to. Wow, they do get away. Nice save from InZaNe when it felt like there was probably going to be some trouble there. Marines, a couple of Hellions coming out up to the top where Marine tank medevac army is gathering up. +1 attack upgrade. About to finish on that engineering bay, and well, Bane's actually just crashed into this, but I'm not sure that was great for Denver. InZaNe has the +1 attack upgrade advantage. In fact, he's on 5 racks, so InZaNe's just going to kind of go for this on 2 bases, but runs onto the creep there, and the Marines were under a medevac that was full of siege tanks. So we'll lift up, we'll back away. There's a lot more units back at home. InZaNe's kind of just going for this on a 2 base all in, it seems. No armor upgrade even. Right, so InZaNe just going to go after this here on Windows Gate, as we do have these 2 medevacs around the top side. So away they go around the top, over to the right. These Marines in the center picking up even more creep tumors. A little bit more creep getting cleaned up. The medevacs boosting to this right-hand side. So there's a couple of things coming in. We're going to see drones getting picked off as well. Hatchery taking some more damage. Marines are going to pull back and go back up into medevacs to escape up the top. These tanks will on siege. They're going to relocate. This hatchery gets picked off. Drone goes down. It's a good shutdown on the upper side. Here goes our Ling Bane army from Denver, still out into the center, and it kind of feels like InZaNe missed his moment. Like, I feel like he had a good moment. It felt like his aggression was going well. He had an army supply lead, and now it's just kind of withering away. And it's, you know, the light that was his fire is being put out. GG from InZaNe as Denver just collapses into this army. Denver is able to take game number 1. Kick it off as we do have at the bottom left-hand side our blue Zerg player. It is up 1-0 Denver, taking on the green Terran top right InZaNe. Yes, we have unfortunately dropped down to 499 subscribers. You guys want to help a poor streamer keep up at his 500 sub goal? Consider using your Twitch Prime right now. As we get this start, we look to see what will happen. Papa Mitch comes in with the gifted sub to Malkiesel. There you go. I guess you guys don't have to drop the sub if Papa Mitch will do it for you. Thank you so much, Papa Mitch. There we go. Boom. We stay right there. 500. That's what we gotta do. Stay at 500 subs. We got this. We got this, team. We got this. Alright. 6 Zerglings on the way out from Denver. He is going pool first. He did this in game number 1, and it was actually pretty successful, slowing down the command center early on and so on. So Here we go, Sexlings. Heading out onto the map, see what they might get up to. Hey, what's up, Huckleberry Clover coming in for the Twitch Prime for 3 months. Hey, buddy. Hey, Huckleberry Clover, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the 3-month resub, I appreciate it. Wings running out onto the map and not really making themselves too well known. Reaper shows up now, and that's going to be the time to go for this. InZaNe still did invest into this Marine. So this Marine comes out, sits on top of the ramp, and Reaper from InZaNe poking around, dealing some damage to the hatchery Zerglings. Coming around the side and dealing some good damage to this command center. CC taking a few shots. Third CC already starting in the main, and this time the SCVs respond a bit better. And he isn't going to take the damage he took in game number 1. But still on the other side of the map as well. This Chaos AD comes in for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much for your Twitch Prime as well. Oh, that's a little bit weird, this Reaper just kind of sitting there and getting picked off. What was this sub train going on? Chaos AD with that Twitch Prime, followed by Hard Donkey with the fresh new sub. Thank you so much. What is actually going on? The minis. See, I knew you guys wanted to be like the Overlord conga line. We got a sub conga line going on, just like them Overlords. You were inspired. I knew it would happen. It was just too great not to be inspired by it, wasn't it? Thank you so much for all the subs. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As you have aliens making their way to the map. Will InZaNe go for a mech style again here? Will he play bio? Obviously that mech was what dragged us into that draw the first time around that we tried to play on Winter's Gate. Three Hellions finds 3 drones. Nice and easily. Wardy, Denver needs part of the sub money now. Well, good thing he's playing in the tournament, because that's where part of our sub money always goes, into these tournaments. Pretty much $1 of every single sub on this channel goes in towards StarCraft 2 events, so... You don't just support me, you support StarCraft. Whiny Old Man, Twitch Prime fresh and new as well, thank you so much. And Dr. Edition, Twitch Prime for 4 months as well. What is actually, that's actually a sub train out of nowhere. Thank you so much, appreciate it, guys. Much love. Thank you so much. Crazy. Sub after sub. I appreciate that as we watch these Hellions coming back down. We are going to see more barracks, so Denver will be playing against the Bio once again this time, and he did that pretty well in game number 1 as these Hellions will fire and creep tumors will start to go down. Yeah, there's 4 barracks in production, so we're going to see like a 2 base attack here, it seems. So yeah, seems like we're going to have a 2-base attack again. But he's on a 3rd CC, so I guess I'm just being stupid and forgetting the fact he's on a 3rd CC. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense just going to barracks 2, 3, 4, and 5 right now. So ignore me. This is kind of just what you'd expect, I suppose. My bad. That first game has kind of melted my brain a little bit. I do apologize. X-Rigtas coming in with the sub-train continuation. Twitch Prime for 2 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back. Great to have you for another month on the channel. Really do appreciate it. I feel like we're about the same size as the Overlord conga line at this point. We've almost done it, guys. Great job. Denver will be proud. I'll tell him after the game. Hellions. Getting some damage from the Queens. As they do run by. They're just looking for info, and Denver are going to take the 4th base. Pinned all the way back in this bottom side. Makes it very difficult to push into. Obviously, it means the 3rd is much more easily pushed into because it's so far forwards here. So, we have a riskier 3rd against Terran, but so far, it's working out as this orbital command will lift up. Head down the right side towards the third base. Flesher with the 21-month resub. Thank you so much as well. It just doesn't end. Thank you. Appreciate it. Pneumatized carapace then invested into here. Why is this extractor purple? This is a rich Vespene geyser. It means you mine twice as much from it each trip, but there's only one on the base, so it's essentially a standard one base amount of gas, but it costs half the drones invested into it to get it, so each of these drones returns 8 gas every time they make a trip, instead of the usual 4. This happens on a couple of maps. There's another rich Vespene on this base here on this map, for example. It's just one of those, it's one of the features. It makes this base a little bit more lucrative while also being a little bit more easily attacked into, so it's kind of like risk versus reward, right? The risk of taking that more exposed base while being able to mine the same amount of gas with half the drones, so it's, I kind of like it. I like rich Vespene geysers a lot more than rich mineral fields, because rich mineral fields are always very abusable, whereas rich Vespene geysers give a slight advantage, but nowhere near to the amount of like rich minerals do, so it's nice. We do see Swarmhost Nidus play coming up against a bio player is very interesting. Intrigued to see what Denver can do with this. Obviously, we're going to see this new Nidus in play then. This Nidus network, which we have had nerfed a little bit, obviously. A few different nerfs to it. Unload and load speed reduced. And you can't build the Niduses as frequently anymore. You have to build... Basically, Nidus is... you start building it now, and it's going to be about 14 seconds until you can cast Never once it finishes up. So there's basically a little bit of a delay on being able to build the next Nidus worm. So it's nice. It makes sense. It definitely nerfs the super aggressive Niduses, while it has less of an impact on later game Nidus networks. You can see here already, like, these Swarmhosts basically unload half as quickly as they would have done originally. So they're pretty slow to jump out. In this scenario, that doesn't really affect much. But it can definitely mean that if you're in a position to kind of punish the Swarmhost for coming out of that Nidus, you can kind of, benefit from that a little more. So it makes it just a little bit risky, a little bit more punishable. I feel like it's a step in the right direction for the Nidus network, which has been very, very heavily used as of late, of course. A few Marines drop down, and the drones taking a little bit of damage. A couple of roaches running over here, and Marines will just load up and lift away over to the side, where they're going to be in some more trouble. Roaches of Denver still pressing forwards. InZaNe's medevacs will just lift up and start to get out of there. And there go our Locusts popping up again and pressing in towards this top side. Widowmine is going to go off on the first couple of Locusts, and a couple more Widowmines going down as well. These siege tanks being broken, and honestly just feels like these Swarm Hosts might kind of win this game. It feels like InZaNe doesn't really have the numbers to really defend this. Obviously they go on to cooldown now, but InZaNe has like 65 army supply against 131. It's not really a lot, honestly. It's not really a lot at all. Some Roaches showing up. Roaches on their own will still not have a great time here, though. For fairly obvious reasons, I would imagine. You know, just Roaches against siege tank setup, etc. When these Roaches attack at the same time as the Locusts, this might just be a little bit too much for InZaNe to hold on to. So here we go. I mean, the tank is on siege. GG, good luck is called, and Denver will take game.